enable it to be streamed live on YouTube. So I mean, for those who any member who unfortunately unable to log on and stuff on the actual webinar, certainly they could go on the YouTube page and follow through with the actual webinar. Right, I will share the share the link. So anybody could just click on that link, and of course, before we start, we could have a look at the YouTube page that we have also built to broadcast the webinar live. So anyone, anywhere, could also have a look as to what it is doing. However, I mean, they will not be able to participate via the voting and stuff like that, but certainly they will be in a position to have a look, see what we're doing, etc. So that's one of the functionalities that we also have put together for our virtual AGM. So I mean, it gives the members and stuff, different avenues. Some may not be in a position to participate via voting, however, some may just like be aware of what is happening. So we have also created that, and also it will be running parallel and live stream on our Facebook page as well. So people have now the opportunity whereby they can log on, participate. They could also hop on the Facebook page, have a look, see what is happening, as well as go on to the YouTube page and also view the live stream of Tpcu's webinar, annual general meeting. Good.
So Paris, the virtual meeting you all looked at last week, did they have all of these features?
No, they did not. All right.
So that's how come you all improve on that?
Yeah, well, improving is one of the things that we wanted to do. And when you look at our membership demographics as well, I mean, we have our age demographics, and one of the biggest challenge, is to try to get people quickly over this learning curve as to how to embrace the technology to log in quickly, right? Because as from before, you will just come to an on-site AGM and everybody's seeing everyone. Right now, I don't think that you will even have the capability to see who again is in the meeting.
Right.
Right. And of course, the interface that you are seeing in front of you here now with this webinar is just 3 features, which is the chat box, your raise hand, as well as your question and answer.
Yeah.
Right. One of the shortcomings, and we had observed from both Randa and Venture, was when they allow participation from members, like opening up the floor and having them speak and whatnot, the meeting got so much out of control.
Oh, right, yes.
All right, that it was very difficult to bring back order.
Okay.
So from those learnings and stuff there, we have adapted our AGM to prevent those sort of minimal disruptions, and of course, still allow any of the members who are participating in our webinar to still ask the questions. However, it will be in such a way that, answers will be provided, but not on that particular day, because you remember it's COVID-19, we're all in restrictions, we're all in lockdown. You cannot have all your panelists together. So a question may be asked, let's say for Neil after he read the budget presentation, but when Neil he do not have the necessary information at hand, right? Or is he at close to the office? No, it's not like how it was on site. Let's say when Neil is very close and he could inquire from, let's say, Nadrika, or he could, quickly get some information. So it's not like that. Neil now may very well be participating in the webinar in the comfort of his own home. Similarly, every single one of you all will have to do that, because we have to abide by the COVID-19 protocols that we have right now.
Yeah.
And to stay within the 90 minutes.
Yeah, and that is what we're also trying to do, right? But as we are running through, I mean, you would see where we have gone, because we were feverishly going behind having our on-site as of the 30th of March.
Yeah.
Which was just Friday gone. Today is just the 2nd. Today is the 2nd of May.
Yeah,
and after we deliver what it is the little team here have put together, then, you know, the board of directors will be in a position to see, well, right. And if we have done good job with respect to how quickly we could have this AGM, if we're in a state of readiness, you know, with the polishing, of course, right now we are not 100%, but we are way above 50%, right? And we are also trying to use, you know, different methodologies in order for us to have our AGM. But mostly, I mean, there was the fear, you know, webinar, never done that. How could we do that? You know, how do we go about doing this webinar? As we would have seen, Venture, right? Venture was charged $353,000 by a third party to have their on-site,
Wow.
virtual AGM last year.
Last year?
Yeah, we were invoiced to have ours last year when we were considering such $162,000.
Okay.
Right. Now for Venture, maybe that is easy, but for us, we're a middle-class credit union, while Venture and them are you know, any higher scale.
Yeah,
So
that is too
probably
much
it's
money.
easy for them to pay, but
Yeah.
where we are concerned, it's very difficult for us to pay that.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why, according to the bylaws, we must relate to the membership based upon the performance of the organization. And how do we do that? Whilst there is no on-site, we need to work towards virtual. And that's what the team has been doing. They've been working towards virtual, and there's where we are. And of course, you would see also Stephanie is online, and probably this is the closest she has been to me or hearing from me for the last week or two. Right? Because I mean, she was very, very tolerable and tolerant with respect to, you know, what was the need right now, getting this AGM up and running. So, I mean, I also invited her on board so she could do a little critique together with everybody else as where we could improve, how we could polish up, and from there we could move into the thicker things. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, and so on. So I said, hey, Nikosi, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm doing good.
All righty, I like your little what do you call that one now? Your logo, your icon.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
icon.
Thanks.
Right? So why didn't, and normally the child is following the father's footstep. Why isn't your father following in yours and being present at this time?
That's true. I told him the meeting was too. I'm not sure.
All righty. Well, at least I'm happy to see that you are on with us.
Perry, one question.
Sure, Ananas.
If, for example, there's a meeting going on with the Zoom webinar, we have the meeting going on, and if, for example, I want to vote, can I vote with my phone because I get any message on the phone as well, or is it that you have to vote with on the same instrument that you're listening to the webinar on?
No, absolutely not. The webinar is being held on Zoom. The voting portal is a separate entity. You could log on the same email from your phone where that was sent to you and click, and you could vote on your tablet, on your phone, wherever you want to. You don't have to vote directly on this thing. Right?
Okay.
You don't have to vote. So it's not to say that, you know, you could if you wish. Right? You open up your email and you click your browser, you just minimize your Zoom meeting and you click your browser, the email, you click, you log on, and you're good there.
Okay.
Right? Or from your phone, you could vote. So we have enabled the voting privileges, you know, for phone and also normal tablet, PC, etc. So we have put that together for the team. Well, I just wait a couple of minutes again just to get just to see if we can have both the rest of the team who we have invited on board. Who we missing now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's just Neil and Peter. Jar, how are you doing?
Yeah, good everyone. Yes.
Hi. Good
Yes.
afternoon.
No problems.
Good to meet you.
Well,
Good to meet
what-
you again.
I heard what you said about not having members participate using the voting, well, not being able to participate personally, vocally, because of the time constraints and the interruptions that there may be. That's a pity, but I understand that it's a compromise you have to make. But that's one of the essence of AGMs, whereby people, although you can't limit, you can. That's the management of the chair, of course, and the panel. That's their job to really manage that process, but not allowing any participation. I think that's an extreme point.
Right. So, and what we could do, of course, I mean, I could enable full participation where anybody could interrupt the speakers, they could interrupt the panelists, they could vote in any time, they could put on the video at any time, right? But we as the board of directors now need to come up as to the level of tolerance, because we have seen from the 2 AGM we had looked at last week, by just allowing that, it was horses bursting out of the stables, and there was absolutely no control at that point in time. It was difficult to regain control. And what had to happen, the president had to remove people from the meeting and forcefully mute them. And I mean, that is in I mean, from me, and I'm sure from the Trinidad Penal Credit Union, that is a bit disrespectful. If you have a member who's an owner trying to contribute, and they may not bring it across as pleasing as the panelists. However, they have a point. And at that point in time, when you have a panelist or a chairman not in a position to answer, of course, the very next thing is the AGM moderator now will get that person off of the meeting. And I don't think we should be able to treat members like that. So it's either you open and you have them make the contribution. However, as we all know, we could never say that the contribution will be short, precise, and to the point. It may be a contribution far away from what it is the discussion at hand is about. We may pass that proposal or that resolution in the past, and now somebody now bringing it back into the fray of things. Right, so there's a number of things we need to take into consideration. But again, the team and the board, I mean, we're up for discussion as to anyway, but the best way to control it, to be honest with you. So we will certainly have a look at it and see how it moves. That's not a problem.
Regarding how many members we have with email so far, I know that's one of the big constraints we have. How are you with that?
That is a big constraint. So of course, in order to kind of close this gap and bring that level of satisfactory updates, is that we need to do some pre-work prior, and that is by sending out now the forms, sending out the questions to these members, and then, hey, our AGM is upcoming. Participation, for your participation, it is required that you fill out this short form, and that form now will have your contact number and your email address. So from that avenue, we could try to fetch as much as possible, because having a look at what we have available here, that is a significant challenge for us right now. We have to kind of start back over to try to get that up to par. And you will also realize, JR, that the gap that we have internally is one that will affect the GIA implementation of the members trying to access their online accounts online, right?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Right, so those are the kind of gaps. Yeah, and we need to do that pre-work prior to the AGM.
Yeah, of course. Those are the big avenues I see. Yeah.
Those are some of the big gaps that we have to address.
Very well. Thank you.
All right, guys. So right. So folks, just to try to get our show in order right now, and what I would like to do is just to change the background to the one that we want to use right now. So there we go. Right. So as I had mentioned, you guys are, all of you all are seeing me, right?
Yes.
Great, excellent. So what I've done is that I will be created this interface. I know we have a couple of the guys and I'm missing, they will come on just now, but I just, as I indicated at 2 o'clock, so I just want to get now into the thick of things so you all will have an idea, right, of where we are to be. So, right, so all what I'm going to do, I am now going to request that you guys just mute your mic.
Yeah.
Right, so we can have everybody just mute their mic. Right, excellent. So, good afternoon, members, and welcome to the Tpcu Credit Union 67th Annual General Meeting. At this time, I would like to call the meeting to order, and I'll do so by sharing our credential report. Our credential report. From our credential report, right, you would see that we have 10 registered members. Our required quorum for today is 8. So at this point in time, our credential report from our credential report meeting is duly constituted. You would see that we have 10 registered members. Our required quorum for today is 8. So at this point in time, our credential report from our credential report meeting is duly constituted. You would see that we have 10 registered members. Our required right. So at this point in time, what I would like to do, right, is to hand you all over to our secretary, Mr. Raul Kanju, to read the notice of the annual general meeting.
Good afternoon, all. I would now like to read the notice of the annual general meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 67th annual general meeting of the Tpcu Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. I would now like to read the notice of the annual general meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 67th annual general meeting of the Tpcu Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. I would now like to read the notice of the annual. The main business of the meeting will be notice is hereby given that the 67th annual general meeting Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. I would now like to read the notice follows. The main business of the meeting will be notice is hereby given that the 67th annual general meeting Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. I would now like to read the notice follows. The main business of the meeting will be 5. Elect board and committee members. 6. Transact any other business. For and on behalf of the Tpcu Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited, I would now like to hand you over to our EJ moderator, who will take us through the national anthem, credit union prayers, and a minute of silence.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Shall you all stand for the national anthem? Please remain standing as we get ready for our national anthem. Let us remain standing for 1 minute silence for those. Let us get ready for the Criterion prayer. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there's doubt, faith. Where there's despair, hope. Where there's darkness, light. Where there's sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardon that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Let us all remain standing for 1 minute silence for those who have passed. I would now like to hand over to our president, Mr. Perry Jagdeo, who will take us through the rest of the proceedings.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The year 2020 is certainly one that will be etched in our minds forever, clouded with uncertainties amongst the financial sector and, of course, a forced adaptation to a new norm. Here at Tpcu, we were not immune to such negative impacts, and our supports were rigorously tested, but we endured, embraced it, while forging ahead and adapting our approach to successfully minimizing any operational disruption in our ability to serve you, while holding steadfastly onto the reins to maintain business resiliency. Your board of directors, through its astute governance and management, saw change as progress and embraced such change, hence the theme of our 67th annual general meeting, Embracing Change. With all hands on deck, your board, through its management of resources, permitted Tpcu to successfully shield itself whilst ensuring a realization of a healthy surplus, which allowed your board to propose a competitive dividend payment. It is with such momentum that during 2021, we would continue to explore and pursue new opportunities that may arise, and intensify our efforts to generate new income streams and increase our surplus for the benefit of the membership. In closing, I thank you for being a valued member of the TPCU. I appreciate the trust and confidence you have placed in us, and in return, you have our commitment of continuously providing superior service and the products that best serve your needs. As always, I welcome your feedback and suggestions on how we can continue to best serve you. We recognize you have a choice on where you do business, and we will continue to work to maintain your trust as your credit union of choice. Please be vigilant, wear your mask, maintain your 6 feet social distancing, frequently sanitize your hand, be COVID-free. Thank you. At this point in time, I would like to have a motion be moved for the acceptance of the standing order that was shared with all in attendees. And in doing so, can I have someone from our registered attendees move that motion? You can do so by utilizing the chat feature function, which is located at the bottom of your webinar screen. So I urge or I encourage a member from the listening audience to please move a motion for the acceptance of the standing order to be taken as read. Thank you, Mr. Umar Maraj. Can I now have someone from our attendees move a second such a motion? And similarly, you will do so by utilizing the chat function located at the bottom of your screen by typing I second. Thank you, Ananias. At this point in time, I would like to launch a poll for general acceptance of our standing order being taken as read. Please choose one of the items from the list below. Our poll is now ended, and I will share the results. From the results, you can see that the motion to accept our standing orders has been accepted by all those who are in attendance. I will now like to have a motion moved from those who are in attendance for the acceptance of the 2021 brochure to be taken as read. Can I have someone from a registered audience please utilize the chat function located at the bottom of your webinar screen by typing I so move. Thank you, Omar. Again, can I have someone second such a motion? Thank you, Nitusi David. I would now like to launch a poll for the general acceptance. The poll has been launched. Please vote. poll is now ended. I would like to share the results with all those in attendance, where it is overwhelmingly stated that all those in attendance are in acceptance of the motion that was just placed. Can I have someone now? Can I have someone now from those who are in attendance to confirm the minutes of our 66th annual general meeting? You can do so by typing "I confirm" using the chat box located at the bottom of your meeting webinar screen. Thank you, Mr. Ananias Johnson. Can I have someone second? Thank you, Raul Ganju. Now I would like to run a poll. For confirmation, the minutes. Of our 66th annual general meeting. Poll is now ended. 85% of all those who are in attendance have voted. I would now like to share the results for all those in attendance, where we will see that all have voted. Thank you. If there are any questions, please utilize the questions and answer icon or feature that is located as well at the bottom of your meeting webinar screen. Adoption of reports. I'd like to have one of the attendees move a motion for the adoption of the Board of Directors report. Please do so by typing in the chat box, "I move." Thank you, Claudette. Can I have someone second? Please do so by typing in your chat box, "I second." Thank you, Nikosi. I would now like to launch a poll for the adoption and general acceptance for the Board of Directors report. Poll has been launched. I would like to end the poll. Thus far, we have 85% of voters all in favor of the adoption of our Board of Directors report. I would now like to share the results of such poll. If there are any questions, reports, Board of Directors, please do so by typing same in our question and answer feature located at the bottom of your webinar screen. Credit Committee report. Can I have someone from our listening audience and attendees please move a motion for the adoption of our Credit Committee report? Again, please do so by typing in the chat box, I move. Thank you, Peter. Can I have someone second? Thank you, Raul. I'd like to move a poll. For adoption of our Credit Committee report. The poll is now launched. Please choose one from the list below. Our poll is now ended. We have 7 out of 9 attendees voting, giving us a 77% adoption of Credit Committee report. I would like to share this report. As you can see, there is general acceptance by all in attendees regarding our Credit Committee report. Supervisory Committee's report. I would like to have one of the attendees move a motion for the adoption of the Supervisory Committee's report. Please do so again by typing in the chat box, I so move. Ananias Johnson, thank you so much. Can I have someone from listening audience second such a motion? Thank you, Godfrey Ransom. We now like to launch a poll for general acceptance for the adoption of the Credit Committee report. Sorry, the supervisory report. Please vote, select one from the list below. Our poll is now ended. We have 9 out of 9 participants voting in favor. It's 100%. I would like now to share the results. From our results, you can see that our supervisory report, one has been adopted, all in attendance. our Education Committee report. I'd like to have one of the attendees move a motion for the adoption of the Education Committee's report. Please do so by typing in the chat box. I so. Thank you, Nikosi. David, can I have someone second? Thank you, Peter. I would now like to run a poll for general acceptance of all those in attendance of the adoption of the Education Committee's report. Poll has been launched. Please select one from the list of items below. Poll has been ended. Share the results of the poll with all those attendees. And we can see that it has been unanimously agreed and accepted by all those in attendance. Nominations Committee report. I would like to have one of the attendees move a motion for the adoption of the Nomination Committee's report. Please do so by typing in the chat box. I thank you, Peter. Mr. Peter David. Can I have someone second? Thank you, Nikosi. I would now like to run a poll for general acceptance of the Nominations Committee's report. Poll has been launched. I encourage each one of you who are in attendance to please select one from the list below. Poll has ended. Results are now being shared. From the results, say that the adoption of the Nominations Committee's report is one and has gotten general acceptance by those in attendance. Auditor's report, financial statement. At this point in time, I would like to hand you over to our auditor, Mr. Raul Kanju, to read auditor's financial statement for 2020.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Independent Auditor's Report to the members of the Trinidad Penal Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Opinion. We have audited the financial statements of the Trinidad Penal Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited, which comprises the statement of financial position as at the 31st of December 2020. Statement of comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flows and receipts and payments account for the year then ended. I would now like to hand you over to our AGM chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. At this point in time, I would like to have someone from the listening audience move a motion for the acceptance of our auditor report. Please do so by utilizing the chat feature, which is located at the bottom of your webinar's interface. Thank you, Lucy David. Can I have someone second? Thank you, Mr. Godfrey Ransom. At this point in time, I would like to launch a poll for the general acceptance of our auditor's report. Please select one from the list below. Our poll is now ended. I'd like to share your results of our poll, where we can see that has been widely accepted by all those in attendance. The adoption of our auditor's report and financial statements. I'd like to hand over to you, former treasurer, Mr. Omar Maraj, for budget presentation.
Good afternoon. I would like to present the budget presentation for our meeting this afternoon. Proposed budget 2021. Income, budget 2020, 6,467,950. Actual 2020 was 6,043,909. Variance 424,041. Income from investments and fixed deposits, budget 2020, 6,216,999. Actual 2020, 7,145,405. Variance 920,406. The budget for 2021, 7,330,388. Other income, budget 2020, 100,000. Actual 2020 of 33,820. Variance 66,180. Budget for 2021, 12,000. Total income, budget 2020, 12,784,949. Actual 2020, 13,223,135. Variance 438,186. Budget for 2021, 13,919,994. I would like to hand over back to our president, Mr. Perry Jagdeo. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. At this point in time, I would like to encourage all those in attendance, if there is any questions related to our budget presentation, please do so utilizing the question and answer feature that's located at the bottom of your meeting webinar. All questions will be answered and provided feedback at the close of business day of our full operational after this AGM, as well as all answers will also be posted on our website for viewing by all those in attendance. So at this point in time, I would like to encourage you all to please utilize that question and answer feature, indicating and highlighting all questions that you may have regarding our budget presentation. Resolutions. Resolution 1. Appointment of auditors. Whereas the Commissioner for Cooperative Development has drawn up a list of approved auditors for the accounts of cooperative societies in accordance with Section 51 of the Cooperative Societies Act, Chapter 8103, and regulations thereof, And whereas bylaw 22K of the Trinidad Penal Credit Union requires the annual general meeting to appoint an auditor for the ensuing term from the list of auditors approved by the commissioner, be it resolved that Maharaj Mohammed and Company be appointed auditors of the Trinidad Penal Credit Union Incorporated Societies Limited for the financial year ending 31st, 2021. I would now like to run poll all in attendance regarding this resolution. Please select one from the list below. The poll has now ended. I would now like to share the results with all of you all. So resolution 1 has been accepted by all those in attendance. So annual general meeting. Resolution 2. Distribution of surplus. Whereas the credit union has realized a net surplus for the financial year ending December 31st, 2020, and whereas bylaw 12 of the society makes provision for the distribution of the surplus in accordance with the regulations of the Cooperative Societies Act, Chapter 8103, be it resolved that a dividend of 3% be declared on members' shares as of December 31st, 2020, and credited to their share accounts, and be it further resolved that any account which is in arrears, the said sum be credited out to outstanding loan and interest by law 12C. I would now like to run a poll for acceptance of this resolution. Poll has been launched. Ladies and gentlemen, please select one from the list. Poll is now ended. The results for poll are shown, whereby resolution 2 has been accepted by all members participating in our annual general meeting here this afternoon. Resolution 3. Dividend Equalization Fund. Whereas the uncertain economic environment is likely to adversely impact future earnings, the Board of Directors established a dividend equalization fund by Law 12G to safeguard payments of dividends for future years. And whereas the proposed amount of $1 million from 2019 was not used, it is proposed that the $1 million be carried forward to future years. Be it resolved that the sum of $1 million from the 2019 net surplus be carried forward to safeguard dividend payment for future financial years. I would now like to launch a poll for the acceptance of resolution 3. Poll has been initiated. Please select one from the list below. Poll is now ended. Results are now being shared. I am happy to say that resolution 3 has been accepted by all those in attendance at our annual general meeting. Resolution 4, Building Fund. Whereas bylaw 12G of the society states the balance of the net surplus may be used at the discretion of the general meeting for the construction of a building fund. Be it resolved that 480,000 be transferred from the return earnings to this building fund, which represents a portion of the surplus for 2020. I would now like to poll as it pertains to resolution 4. Please do so by selecting one from the list. Our poll is now ended. From the results, you can see that resolution 4 has overwhelming support of all those in attendance. That is the last of our resolution, and I'm happy to say that all 4 resolutions were accepted by all those in attendance at our annual general meeting here this afternoon. Here's where we have reached the elections of board and committee members. And in the absence of our cooperative society officer, who is not with us today, I would commence and oversee the elections. I would now like to take this opportunity to share with you the candidates of the Board of Directors, Credit Committee, and Supervisory Committee would have submitted their applications through the nomination process. I'll start with candidates for Board of Directors. At this point in time, I would now like to open the floor for nominations as Board of Directors. Please type your nomination in the chat box. I stated, I beg to nominate, and state the person's name that you will be nominated. If there are no nominations for the Board of Directors, can I have someone move out? Yeah, I see Father nominated son. Great. I seen that Peter David has nominated Mr. Nikusi David. Can I have someone from the listening audience second such nomination for Nikusi David? Ananias, thank you. Mr. Ananias Johnson had also begged to nominate Mr. Rudolph Felix for the Board of Directors. Can I have someone second such? Thank you, Mr. Peter David, for seconding that nomination. Are there any more nominations? Thus far, I have from the floor Mr. Nkosi David and Mr. Rudolph Felix. Are there any more nominations from the floor? If not, can I have someone beg to have nomination seats? Thank you, Mr. Ransom. Nomination for the Board of Directors is now been closed. Our candidates for our Board of Directors who will be given the opportunity to vote for our elections, which is happening pretty soon as you enter our voting portal, as follows: Mr. Peter David, Mr. Wazir Khan, Mr. Omar Maraj, Mr. Perry Jagdev, Mr. Imtiaz Mohammed, Mr. Nkosi David, Mr. Rudolph Felix. Thank you. I would now like to share with you the candidates for Credit Committee. Here you have candidates for the Credit Committee. Mr. Eric Ford, Mr. Calvin Sargent, Mr. Calvin Possam, Mr. Winston Sam, Mr. Omar Maraj, Mr. Rudolph Felix. All these members would have utilized the nomination process to submit their candidacy. At this point in time, I would like to open the floor for anyone who would like to vote or nominate a candidate to be a part of the Credit Committee. The floor is now open. Okay. Ananias Johnson, beg to nominate Lezina Hussein for the Credit Committee. Can I have someone second such a nomination? Thank you, Mr. Nkosi David, for seconding that nomination. If there are no more nominations from the floor, can I have someone move a motion? Beg for nomination to be seized. Ananias, thank you very much. Nominations for the Credit Committee now closed. Ladies and gentlemen, just to go over the names of all those who are candidates for our upcoming Credit Committee election: Mr. Eric Ford, Mr. Calvin Sargent, Mr. Calvin Poston, Mr. Winston Sam, Mr. Omar Maraj, Mr. Rudolph Felix, as well as Miss Lezina Hussein. Thanks, AJ, that is correct. I will need to second that denomination received. Thank you for that. So, as that has been brought to the attention, can we have someone from the audience second motion that nomination be seized? Thank you all. I would now like to share with you members of supervisory committee who have followed through the process by submitting their candidacy through the nominations committee. Ms. Lazina Hussain, Mr. Wazir Khan, Mr. Omar Maraj, Ms. Nadreka Prasad, Mr. Calvin Fuster. Floor is now open for nominations. Please state, I beg to nominate, and the person's name if you are interested in nominating from the floor. Ananias Johnson. Hereby beg to nominate Mr. Neil Johnson. Can I have someone second such a nomination? Thank you, Peter. Mr. Peter David has just seconded that nomination. If there are no more nominations, can I have someone move to have nomination cease? Thank you, Mr. Nikosi David. Can I have someone move to have a second that nomination be seized? Thank you, Mr. Ananias Johnson. At this point in time, all members or candidates for our supervisory committee elections, their names are as follows: Ms. Lazina Hussain, Mr. Wazir Khan, Mr. Omar Maraj, Mr. Nadreka Prasad, Mr. Calvin Fuster, and Mr. Neil Johnson. I would just like to remind you of some very important information before you move away from your webinar meeting and exercise your voting rights. Each attendee would have received an email with the link to Tpcu's voting portal. It is important that you now locate that email as it contains all the information for you to log in and vote. A reminder email would have also been sent to you within the last hour. Now that everyone has located that email, our voting portal will be open in the next 5 minutes. So after such, please follow the instructions listed in that email and conduct your voting rights by choosing who you believe will be your best candidate for both supervisory and credit committees together with the board of directors. So at this point in time, our meeting will go into a 15 minutes break whilst you visit your portal and cast your vote. We will be back in 15 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Please remember that our portal will be open for receiving votes in 5 minutes.
Hi, good day, everyone.
It is all.
Good day. We would like to get a little feedback from your voting experience. Our moderator, he will be coming back within. The voting is being tallied, so we would resume in 10 minutes. Yeah. So in the interim, we just like to have a little feedback on the voting experience.
So, roll.
Yes.
Okay, we had to wait a little while for the, well, I did it on my phone because it was easier for me to go on the phone and do it. So I just had to wait a little while. I was getting a little bit worried, and then I saw the names came up.
Yeah.
So I was able to handle it. And I have my receipt, and so my official receipt.
Yes, on completing your vote, you will get an official receipt which you can print, or I believe you can also save as a soft copy.
Okay, right.
But generally, you said you had to wait a bit until it was loaded.
Until it was loaded, yes, for it to be loaded. So I was getting a little bit worried, but I wonder if I'm doing it right or so, you know.
But you were able to see all the names of the
I
persons
saw all the names
nominated.
clearly, and I
and
was able to vote properly.
Okay.
Same thing with me, all.
Okay. Same. Okay.
Yeah, I was waiting too long. I feel like I lost communication.
Oh, okay. Okay. We will take a note of this and as see why that little delay happened before you would have seen the candidates.
Yeah. All right.
Roll, I did it through my phone as well, and everything went fine. But when I submitted, I realized that I only put 3 people for credit committees. I went try to go back in, but they didn't allow me to. So which was my fault really. So it worked fine for me. Yeah.
Mr. Johnson, I'm not sure, but when we did the voting, when you initially select person that you want to vote for, it will ask you now to confirm these persons. Now, there is an option to go back if you feel like you made an error or you didn't want to choose a person or you want to choose an extra person. But there is an option to go back to revote.
I realize that, yeah. But once you submit, though, you won't be able to go back.
Yeah. Well, once you submit, that's fine now. But coming off of this, what we have to do, we will do a little setup, voting manual, and go through back. So if persons feel like they need to go, where they reach a point where they feel, okay, I should not choose that person, I need to choose somebody else, we will show them now how to go back to the listing to select, and then submit. So that's a good observation there.
Yeah.
But it was quite user friendly, I thought.
Yeah, and it's only people pictures and that kind of thing.
That's right. Yes.
For first time doing it,
Yeah. Well, the only persons nominated, we could place their pictures, but the persons off the floor, that's where it could be a challenge to get yeah, there's no pictures of the floor.
Right.
Well, I had lots of problems, Roll, with this ballot dashboard.
You could share some of the problems.
There were no active ballots appeared to vote. That's the error message I got, right?
Right, and that was because, JR, that was because what we were doing, I did not activate it as yet. So when you would have gone on, you would realize because it was still under construction where I was inputting those names from the floor. So immediately when I would have completed, updated now the names from the floor is when I activated the ballot. So probably when you got on, I was still in the process of populating the candidates with those names that I would have gotten from the floor.
Well, Mr. President, I think the you'll need to tell the people.
Yeah, of
wait
course.
until you see something on the screen to start voting. We wait for
Right,
get the prompt to start voting.
Because what I could do, I now will of course let them know, hey, voting will commence at so and so time, right? But in this situation, as how I had shared it with you all before, you all had the option. I mean, you all could have easily just gone in there and started to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, you all will have realized ballot closed or no active ballots. And that was the reason for that is because I now had put it back onto construction to update the names that would have come in from the floor. And when I update with that now, then is when I will activate the ballot. So there's where we will get. So the little hindrance there is just to have the time available to do the updating from the floor and then have the ballot now go live. So only when it go live is when it is now you guys could go in and then everything will run smoothly from that point in time. So those are the little tweaks and stuff that we have.
But would you be able to put something on the screen to say, you know, that it will be
Certainly,
on
we are in the process of developing a ballot voting guide that will be shared by all the members and stuff like that. So they will be in a position to understand really and truly what is the process. So it's not about, you all really and truly are the guinea pigs, to be honest with you. Sorry to put it like that. But you know, in moving forward, we are in the process of that ballot guide. We are almost completed that together with the Zoom logon guide document. That is also, you know, close to completion to share. So everybody now will know exactly upon receiving email A, this is what you would see. And these are the arrows, and this is what you press, this is what you do. And similarly, the email that will also land you now into the ballots, the voting portal. And there's a guide now that guides you through that whole process there as well. Like, for example, I will just show you on the back end now what happens with this thing. So, I mean, we have gone through a lot of the meeting now. I would really like, you know, to get the engagement and stuff with the team. I mean, in the beginning, we started off a little rough. And the reason for that is because Stephanie now had logged on remotely through my account as well. So
Right.
when she was logged on, she pulled all the host credentials to her. So there's where we had a challenge in the early part, but immediately I had to remove her from the meeting to get back full control as the host. So there's where now we kind of level back into off and plateau off, and we start to continue along with the AGM. And there's where you had, like, for example, when the national anthem and stuff was playing, there's where we had that delay and stuff. At that point in time was where the host was removed now and transferred to another system as a result of Stephanie logging on there.
Right.
So there's where we had. So, but those things are things that could fix overnight.
Yeah, and first, just when Wall was taking the secretary report, he was getting feedback.
Yeah, that's correct, right? And the reason you will get one or two little feedback here, right, is because we are so closely knit in the room. When I mean closely knit, beyond 6 feet, right? But again, if someone accidentally leave their mic on, of course, you will get a little feedback. So quickly they will try to do that. But all that could solve by ensuring.
Yes, but I just say observation, and then after the 1 minute silent, don't forget the safety briefing.
Yeah, well, the safety briefing really and truly, I mean,
I didn't hear that.
With, you know, COVID-19
Okay.
and social.
All right, okay. Yes.
You don't need a real safety. You don't need a safety. What safety thing I could give you if you vote you out?
All right, yes, right. Okay. Yes.
No fire, can't tell you that no evacuation.
Right. Understand that. And
Right.
And for the voting on the floor, or I guess maybe with thing there, what will you do to know if the members financial?
We will have that listed. That is one of the critical part. If you would have gone onto the sheet that I'd shared, the critical part sheet, you will see one of the things that we have to do is a member list in your financial updates and stuff like that, making sure you are good. Because now if someone nominates someone from the floor, it is quickly cross-referenced now by the team of guys here on the back end, indicating of which we will notify you all of.
Yes. All
Right?
right.
Of course, anyone again who nominates, it is also cross-referenced against now all who are registered, because you cannot nominate somebody on the virtual AGM if they're not registered and they're not in attendance.
Right.
So we do have all of those things already that we have thought about, and we have the necessary information. We could quickly cross-reference and stuff like that. Raul had pulled that already for us from the office, so we also have that. But again, this was just a small little team of, you know, just the board of directors, 8, 9, 10 people and stuff like that, as to where, you know, where we are and how it is we're moving forward with it.
Yeah, and it was well done for the first trying.
Right, so.
Press, would we closer to the real meeting, the
Have another
AGM?
one.
We'll have another run. We would probably all the officers or something like that.
Well,
Yes.
what I'm trying to tell you guys here now, this is the first of many, right?
Right.
Because it is not next week, Tuesday again. I am looking to have one, but just increase the amount of persons, and then I'm going to go. I need to have about 6 to 8 of these before our actual, right? And when I mean 6 to 8 before actual, 6 to 8 before 14 minutes to the date that what we have planned, 14 days to the date that we have planned, because you remember, we need to be comfortable then to send out a notice to the press notifying the membership. That has to be 14 days before the actual event. I don't want us now to be, you know, not 100, or let's say I will prefer we be in about 80%, 85% in line in order for us to send out that notice. So we know we still have 14 days to just tweak. But certainly, Jared, this is not the first, I'll be honest with you. And one of the other things as well, I mean, you all will understand that whilst we're talking about the little hiccups we have in the operational side now of this thing, there's also now the hiccup of attendees building up their competencies towards IT. That is critical, because I could guarantee you a lot of you all who are on here have not updated your desktop client for Zoom, right? So those are the things that, you know, the attendees need to also realize, hey, you know what, this is not on site anymore, you know. This is a virtual. What do I require to really and truly participate? You cannot participate like how you were in the past. So you need now to do the necessary competency awareness, building up your competency with respect to really understanding what is required of you. One of the things as well is reading and understanding. The invites and them spelled it out clearly what is required, but yet people had difficulties, right? So these are some of the things now. So it's not only, you know, from the operational side of how it is to run smoothly, but it's also now from the attendee side, letting them know, hey guys, this is what we have to do, because the same little issues we have in here from the board side, you know, with some of the guys still getting little hiccups. Imagine for the other 26 members, that inclusive of staff and other committee members, where do you think they will fall? So that is also something that we also need to take into consideration. All right, if you all are with me with respect to that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Aida?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nikosi, what are some of the thoughts, something that you had?
It was interesting
What was that?
it was it was an interesting session, but it was for me it was straightforward, understanding everything.
Yeah.
The voting process was a little hiccup at first, The 4 against and abstain was straightforward, and it was a good test run, you could say.
Right. Thanks. And Peter.
Harry,
Yeah, Claudette.
yeah, I had no problems going in, voting, everything was okay. I realized just what you explained to JR, that you didn't put in all the information, so I waited and then I went back and I was able to vote, right?
Right.
But my concern is, will we be able to do this in the given time? That's my concern.
No, the 15 minutes I just gave you
Because I look at the time when we
No,
stopped for
normally-
voting and it was nearly,
Right, so
you know,
normally the voting window is half an hour to 45 minutes, right? So I just give 15 minutes to tell you the truth, right? So it is not that 15 minutes is the only allotted time that I have to get on here and vote, and I have to make my choice quickly because my time running out now, right? Ideally, what happens is that there's where we take the break, video plays or something plays in the background now on the actual screen of the webinar, and then you move along now and you go back and you do your voting, right? And within that now you schedule, like for the AGM, virtual AGM, we could schedule, all right, guys, we'll be taking a half an hour break, right? Now it's so and so time. Please visit the voting portal in the next 10 minutes to start casting your vote. So there's where you have now, we could even say 45 minutes. So there's where you have now a whole half an hour to go and do what it is you have to do, go through, because what I showed you all there is just pictures of candidates, right? It is the intention, remember, from the nominations where people will have biographies and stuff like that. So it gives you ample time now for you to have a look, right, of everything and do the necessary. With me?
So, Mr. Chairperson, what is the intended length of time of the AGM?
Dependent length of time, well, we're looking to kind of like have hours along a 2-hour part for the most, right?
All right.
And of course, that is all hinged on the beginning where we have acceptance of the bylaws, standing order, and of course, acceptance of the brochure of being read. Now, you know, once you have acceptance of brochure being read, then there's no need now to read through every single thing, such as credit committee report, you're reading the whole thing. Board of directors report, you're reading the whole thing, because we have already took it and agreed by all those that, hey, you know what? The report has been taken as read.
Okay.
Come on, guys, questions. I mean,
one comment to Mr. President. You know, it's important to, while you're narrating, that the documents are also placed on the screen.
Yep.
Huh?
Yep,
so that
correct.
people can, you know, rather than hear you, they can look and see, and especially when you look at, you know, numbers and figures and so.
Correct.
All right.
Right. And it is the intention as well that we have also set up a dual share. So with the presenter, you will see the presenter from your screen, you will see the presenter on the corner, and you will actually see the whole AGM report in front of you that the presenter is referring to as well. Right. And also for the AGM, when we do set the date, this week gone by here, we're supposed to collect all the brochures Tuesday gone. Right, I didn't get any feedback from the office yet. So now all participating members, when you pre-register on Smartsheet, we will be able to give you a hard copy of the brochure. What we are also trying to do, we will also have pre-registration. So the pre-registration now will give us an idea after registration close. This is the 60 people or the 60 persons who would have registered. Now, during that window of the 60, there's no more registration after that. Probably we could even consider anyone wants to nominate, right, from the 60 knowing who is already those who have gone through the nomination process, if they could nominate from them, but then again, now it takes away what the bylaws state from nominating on the AGM itself. But certainly, all who registered, they will be provided with the soft copy, hard copy, everything else as how it will run. For them to, be up with it, and as well as the presenter, whenever it's presented, if it's Neil doing treasurer, you will also see the treasurer's report on your screen, dual share with Neil on his side as the presenter. That is what we are also trying to do with respect to it.
Very good.
With me so far?
Yes, yes.
So there's where we are so far with respect to that. All right. Let me just try. So questions again, guys. Come on. Questions, I think that you all will have.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I saw only part of it when you presented the budget, was only part of it. You
When we
have
presented
the budget. Yeah.
Yeah, because Omar can read our budget, I can read our budget, and I don't talk to Neil about reading the budget. We just skim through. What I mean, I just clip off a little piece at the top, and I show Jay.
Yeah,
so
right,
it's
right.
not the whole thing. When we go live, of course, Neil will have to do that. Similarly, we just skim through part of the auditor's report. But what we are also considering, we want to keep in alignment with the 6 feet social distancing. Now, if we work towards having the brochure being read, accepted as being read from the beginning, then what we could do, I can have a video recording of Neil and his presentation. I can have one of Sam and his report. I can have one of supervisory chairperson and their report. And I have all these video recordings of their report. So when time now to say, okay, I would now like to go to the treasurer's report, right? Click that video, and Neil presentation with respect to the treasury report now is being played, because you remember we're taking away the questions going directly now to Neil, because you'll put your question to the answer and the question and answer feature, whereby all of that now after the AGM will be forwarded to Neil for Neil to put now the answers so we could report to the member on the first working day after the AGM. You with me? Because you cannot have your auditor sit down here inside the credit union, your back-end persons and them, your IT persons and them, your secretary sitting down here, your chairperson sitting down here. You cannot have all of these people inside here at the same time. Police pass, everybody going down the drain, AGM finish. Right? You with me?
Yeah, okay. That's a good idea to have them.
So what we're trying to do now, we have the camera inside there, we have the tripod, we have the podium, we have a nice little backdrop. We have identified a spot. So it's just like now, let's say like Neil could come, he could stand there, we could film him, he read his report. His report now will be thrown on the projector screen. So he just reading above the camera, which is the projector screen, and he just reading out his entire report now. Take 1 or 2, the best of it. We seal that now. We have the treasurer's report video. Similarly, you do the same thing for the secretary. Similarly, you do the same thing now for all of those who have come in. Also, the auditor also will do a video presentation and send it to us. Or we can have him come, we video it with our own background and have it there. So now when we're ready, okay, I'd just like to hand you over now to our treasurer, right? We have been keeping in adherence to the COVID-19 protocols. Our treasurer has done a video recording of his presentation that I would like to share with you. I share it, I click it, everybody sees it. Any questions, you type up on your chat, now your question and answer feature, you submit it, right? So all of those things here now are what we could do. What I wanted to share with you guys as well is, let me get it up. Right. So this is basically what it is our e-ballot is about. So when we go into the dashboard of our e-ballot, right, as you would see here, we had 10 voters. We had 71.43% out of the 14 voters. Now, the 14 voters, because I didn't vote, right? Neil wasn't here, etc. Now, if I go into my little reports, I can immediately show you. Now, here is where the cooperative officer will sit, and she would see. So here you would see, okay, for the board of directors here now, you had 5. We need 3 persons on this board of directors. Who are the top 3? You have 17, 17, 30, 17, 7, 7, 7. Okay, great. So now you have 5 votes, 5 votes, 9 votes, 5 votes. Good. Now, as you would refer, if you go back now to the standing order, the chairperson has a casting vote, right? But in this here now, I did not make myself want to vote. However, in the AGM, right, we will be those people, and I mean, everybody has the opportunity to vote. But just for this one, but what it also states is that the president have a right, or the chairperson has a right for a casting vote. So let's say overall, we're talking about board of directors, and here's where you can see what would have happened here, right? If we go into the raw votes, we could actually see what is also happening here with everybody. Okay, if I close it off, this is basically, this tells us here. So of course, clear winner, Peter, great, no problem with that. You have 2 and you have to pick an alternate. You have 3 of them on 17. Okay. Yeah, I will take it out. Right. So we have the 17, 17, 17 by 30, right? And here's where now you'll have the cooperative officer taking the necessary. She will be doing up her document and her PowerPoint. So now when you are done voting and we come back now into the webinar, you have the cooperative officer now presenting to you the outcome of the elections. So as you rightfully stated, Claudette, as well as Ananias and JR, the window of the 15 minutes, I just made that 15 minutes because there's a number of things that has to go on whilst you all are voting. Immediately whilst you are voting, results are coming in. Cooperative officer sitting down with somebody here now needs to start to extrapolate and gather the information, right? Of course, we will also know all who are in attendance to the meeting, right? We will know all who. These are all the persons and them basically who would have attended. So here you know, Eric voted yes, Sharida voted yes, Ananias voted yes, Omar voted yes, Stephanie no, Perry yes, John Doe no, Peter yes. So we know exactly all who voted, all who would have voted. So when we know this is the voters, this is the registered person participating in the webinar. Now, when we are aware that all of these persons have voted, of course, we could close. There's nobody again to vote. However, if you're seeing some red, N and N and N and N, then therefore, you know, you have to set a cutoff time. But you can't leave it open until tomorrow. So there's where you set up 45 minutes. So you see at 45 minutes, if they are still red, that is it. We're going to go forward with how it is. We're going to go forward here. So here's where we could see, right, exactly what is happening, or the cooperative officer, as a matter of fact, could see exactly what is happening. Here is where we set our questions, right? The questions we set here is what selections for your board of directors. And you can go down, board of directors, choose your candidate, your persons, your instructions, right? Imtiaz Mohammed, this is the candidate. We could upload and we could put anything for anybody over here, right? One of the things that also that we could do at the end now, we could pull our reports. And here you can see the directors. This is your report now from all what you all would have voted just now there for your supervisory. Your 21%, if you need 3 persons, of course, you have a 21, you have a 18, you have a 18. These are the 3 persons. Again, 18, 18, somebody needs to do you have a casting vote, right? And of course, you have 14, 14. On this one here, you have it, but here's where it's important. You're 6, you're 6, you're 3, you're 8. So it tells you exactly how many people would have voted, right? And as I was indicating, the reason why some back-end work was going on was you all were trying to access is because the ballot itself was under construction, right? And what I mean under construction is I had to have the ballot in such a way, right? So right now, this is how it was when you all were doing it, because at this point in time, what I had up was for board of directors, right? I had to add a choice here immediately. And here's where you'd have seen I would have added Nicosi and Rollo Felix. So right after now, the voting from the floor is where I need to add. And here's where I will add a choice, a candidate, write-in, abstain, multiple choice candidate, etc. Right? So here's where now this back-end work is going on. You all cannot come in to vote. Because only when I complete this, right? And then I activate the ballot, then you all will be able now to come in now to start to vote. And there's where now a couple of you all will try to access and you will see there's no ballot to vote, because there was some back end going on there at the same time. Right now, I know AJ, you had indicated that when you were logged on, and I mean, you guys could correct me, when you had clicked the voting portal, you head inside, then you would have seen your questions. The question 1, please choose either 1, 2, or 3, right? And this is what for the board of directors. You will scroll down, you would see all your players. You could move it around, switch it around. If you want your first 3 on the top, you could do whatever you want to do. And then of course you click 1, 2, 3. You go down to your credit, you click 5. Based on the question, you select. You go down to your supervisory, you click 3. Now, when you reach there, now when you click continue down at the bottom left of your screen, you go now to another page, whereby this page only have the people that you would have selected. And under each, let's say your credit committee, and under the credit committee, you will say edit. This gives you the opportunity to say, you know what, I feel I make a mistake. Boy, I need to go back. I can't select this person. Let me select this person instead. At that point in time, you click edit, you go back to the front page, you make your choices now that you want to make, then you hit continue, you go back now to the same page now that you would have selected. You go through, you say, well, yes, 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 excellent, I like that. Then you click submit. When you click submit, that is your final. There's no more. Here's where you put your ballot inside the glass box. That's how we do it. Right? You cannot interfere with it again. That is it. Right? At that point in time now is where the cooperative officer sits here, exactly where we're showing you here, watching all the votes and them coming in, taking the necessary documentation, writing up here now the results, because you are waiting for results. Right? You may already finish vote. You want to go back into your meeting, but yes, you could. But there's where you will meet a video playing, or you will meet a slide presentation highlighting our ACH and products and services and this and the website and whatnot. Is where we will have our products and services running, right? And whilst that is running, you have finished vote, but now the compilation and the results are being put together, right? To come back now, to come to you. When we are completed with that and the cooperative officer stamps our approval, then we jump back into the meeting and say, all right, welcome guys, welcome back. So and so all votes has been submitted. Our cooperative officer has had a look and she has stamped her approval on it. And she is here now to give you the results. And here's where she comes up, she speaks, as well as the presentation is also placed, stated, well, all right, Board of Director A, B, and C, and D is also the alternate. Supervisory A, B, and C, and D. Alternate. Credit Committee A, B, C, D, E, F, and G is also the alternate. So this is basically how the whole thing is being conceptualized. Now, when you click submit on your ballot to cast, there's also now a certificate you could collect. You click it, you have your certificate that you will you could print or you could save, and that certificate now shows you that yes, Godfrey Ransom, I voted on the supervisory and I voted for Tom, Dick, and Harry, and on the board I voted for A, B, C, D, and on the A, B, and C, and on the credit I voted for 5 persons, and this is your record with your number. So you now could cross-reference with the cooperative anytime if she says she didn't receive your vote or we didn't receive your vote, right? And that is how it is now. How the vote is put together. It is put together again where everybody is assigned a user, right? So as showing you the screen here, right? You will see this access code here and the user. This is how you are shown as users. We know exactly how many users we have on board, and user 13 has done it. User 14 has done it. Yes, we have all of these things here, and the reports on them could be run accordingly as well. Now, just to go back now to show you all right, I just want to pull up one screen, but whilst I'm grabbing that screen here, how about you all? Any questions you all have so far? Because I've been talking all along. Questions? Come on, guys. I mean, here's where your input is critical, and that is why, you know, we brought you all on board.
I'm okay with it so far.
JR, AJ, Peter.
Yeah, that's quite no, that's straightforward, man. No problems.
Yeah, basically, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, Pez, I okay. Peter going to our next meeting.
Huh?
I say, I am fine. Peter going to our next meeting.
All right, great. That sounds I mean, that is good. Now, one of the other things as well that that we were doing is that of reports. Now, I could run all the reports and stuff like that. And one of the things that I wanted to show you all, let me see if I can get it up here. Right. Yeah. Right. There's this. So after the meeting now, I mean, people may ask, so who's writing all the questions? Who is doing this and who is doing that? Here's where now when the meeting is over, right? Of course, you will see our webinar here. Our webinar here is still, right? As an upcoming previous webinars, etc. Our webinar here now is set. Okay. Previous webinars, as you will see, Tpcu virtual, we can end it. But if I end it now, that means to say our meeting is over. But where we are with respect to these, when I go into account management, right, and I go into reports, I could pull a registration report, right, attendees report, the performance, all the questions and answer, the polls, the survey, everything else. So here is where I can pull any single report here that I want to answer, like my poll report. I can pull the poll report by putting in the meeting ID, and I can pull it. All the questions associated with our event after it is closed off, I can easily type in the webinar here and pull all. So no questions that would have been typed in the chat box will be missed, right? The attendees, I can pull that. Every single person who would have registered, I can also pull that. So this now gives validation to our credential report. Good.
Okay.
Right. So my turn to stop sharing.